Is everyone able to see your screen and able to hear? Okay, I hope yes. Like I will be continuing the class. In the previous class, like we have seen about the something like different types of pipes, like inbuilt pipes, whereas some like pure and impure pipes as well. Custom pipes also, like we have seen it. And services, how we'll be creating it with the alpha dependence injection, like like we'll be specifying it, and like the providing route, providing the multiple services, like with the different types of modules also with the alpha different services, different scopes, something like we can maintain it. Different types of scopes, okay, maintain it. You can run our application, like whichever you have created it, recently. Whatever like we have created our employee routines with the alpha like employee works, like it's getting generated. It's getting generated. Like whenever I'm clicking that link, it's making me going back because in seeing our anchor tag I have kept it. That's why like it's taking up same way. We need to check something like where we have kept the our router link one. So here is the employee one. So if I want to go back, like I need to click here and we can go back. So now how we can do our navigation whenever you will be clicking on some routing or something, like for example right now I'm going to put an employee. Whenever I'm clicking on that one, like it's added as a employee routing with the employee works. It means whenever suppose if you're having as a router link, no, you can pass the same array type, like how many number of routines something like you need to assign it. Like when navigating it, you can easily pass a particular routing with the angular to just like navigate from one URL to other URL. Suppose if you want to do with the button, that also I will show you guys because we need to learn in the different ways so we can easily understand type. I'm going to create one button with the event as a click event. Always we should be creating it the camel cases. So now we are getting the error because this go to employee does not exist under app component. It means if you're seeing here, we have created a button called go to employee, and this one we need to create in the TypeScript file. Suppose if you want to navigate to employee page, we need to inject an concept called private router. That is from router only. That is angular router. So here I'm going to put something in the two ways like you can easily navigate it. Router that navigate by URL, like you can do it. We see here navigate by URL in the sense something like we need to pass the total URL of it. Like for which URL something like you should be getting navigated. That is with the help of navigate by URL. And whereas this is one way to doing it. One more is this dot rotor dot navigate. Here we can pass in the array format, array of like which are I have passed something in the like this. Already we are on the same page. So if we're clicking also, this is the two ways how we will be navigate from one URL to other URL. And you guys should remember if you use something like navigate by URL, we need to pass the total path of it. And whereas navigate, it is just like we'll be passing in. It will append like with the existing path only dot forward slash sense, like it will be just like taking the from current path like which are our rotary URL is available. From that it will be keep on appending it. It will be keep on appending it. This rotor outlet is a selector to initialize of routines in particular place. If you see here that employee, I'm inspecting and just like showing you guys. If you guys remember, like whenever like a rotor outlet selector like will be keeping it, it will be append to that only, like near to that, like it will be adding that thing. And in that component selector, like which are like we're adding it, is there in the same place. Is there in the same place. That is the way how our routing will be working. It's just like to navigate full URL, we should pass to navigate it, and whereas it's just like navigate by or navigate only, we will be passing, we will be passing which you want to append to existing URL. This is the way how these things it will be working it. How are these things it will be working it. How these things then like it will be working it in this manner. Okay. This is the two ways something like how we will be having it, and we can have just like to have the nested routines or just like lazy load modules, among like multiple things that we can go ahead and do it. And attribute routing, like we can say something like how we'll be doing it. Like I'll be showing like how we'll be passing an dynamic attribute routing to just like take care of like what value is getting occurred in the routing, and we can subscribe and we can use it. Like now we are having only one routing over here. I'm going to add one more is something like forward slash colon ID. Same component I'm navigating it, but with the help of ID, like I'm putting it over here. Suppose if you want, this is an we can consider as a attribute routing. Like with the existing routing, like we need to append our forward slash. For that, we will be using as a concept called private route with the activated route. For subscribing that one, this dot our route dot. This is just like params. Params dot subscribe. Like we can do it. Yeah, whichever the ID like we are passing it, like whichever the ID like we'll be passing it, whichever the ID is getting passed over there, like here I'm going to subscribe and result that ID, and this one I'm going to bind in the HTML to just like see what it is getting navigated. Let me put directly on the router URL Chandu ready. Something like whichever you want it. Like if you see here, after the employee works, it came as a Chandu ready. It means I have passed the ID in the router itself. But suppose if you want to do like while navigating it, like already that methods are available, but I will be adding one more thing, something like one more text. Why? Some text like we are going to pass it, but one more method by text. By text. Suppose, yeah, I'm going to process. You will see here, I'm clicking on that. It came as a forward slash again, like the space is being added. Directly, we can add with that. And then something directly we can pass whichever way like you are trying to find it, like you can easily pass the thing, something like. If you see here, it's been added in the Chandra downside. Like whichever the text you want to pass it, for example, like Pratis or some ID or just like angular or something like that. Directly like whenever I'm clicking on the button, like it's going to there. But whenever I'm going to click on this go to employee, it doesn't print anything because we are not passing any attribute param routing. Let me debug and show you guys how our activated root param like it's getting occurred. See, whenever I'm not passing any router thing, like it will be taking as a params as a empty JSON. But whenever I'm clicking on this one, we got here in the result like this is a JSON, like it is containing the ID as a Pratish value. That's why like I'm using a result.id. This is the way how we can debug and just like check what value is getting occurred, and we can easily pass the thing to print the value. We can easily figure it out what value is getting occurred in the attribute routine thing. We can easily subscribe it. Is it clear guys or any doubt with that? This is the syntax of like how we'll be adding and like and navigating it something like two things comes like the by employee as well as this is the base. Okay. Like why I mentioned you guys regarding this ID because suppose if you want in the real time, if you want to implement any something like edit functionality or something based on the user ID, suppose if you want to activate the same component, that time you can use this concept. You can use this concept. Whenever the ID is available, we can have our in HTML, ngIf cases, something like dynamic conditions. We can easily pass the thing and we can easily figure it out what the attribute is getting occurred, like what functionality we need to be getting added in the view or HTML or something I can say. HTML or something. Next. Next is query parameters. I mean like query parameters something like how we can pass it with our just like existing routing with the existing routing something like how we can pass our query params with the just like now right now like we have seen it something like with the only attribute routing things, but with the help of something like existing thing. For example, like whenever you are navigating it based on the HTML also like we are adding the link to do it and like with the help of this one. And for here, I'm going to pass the right side to that with the query params. We will be mentioning something like in the JSON formats like this. Like we can add our just like I can mention something like in the employee part only. DOB 123. Right now, let's see guys something like how it will be getting appended. I'm clicking on go to employee. If you see here, whenever you will be adding the query parameters, that will be just like appending as with the help of question mark. that will be just like appending with the help of question mark, and like it will be taking in the same format question mark with the parameters and values, like we'll be passing it. And now you guys need to understand how we can subscribe the existing query parameters. That also like we are in the same way how our param something like we got subscribed. Same way, this dot root dot query params dot subscribe, and we'll be subscribing our query parameters. Let's see something like what value something like we are passing it, or something like I'm putting as a one more something like query params, like whichever values is getting occurred. And in HTML, I'm going to bind and query parameters. If you guys see here, I'm going to pass something like whichever I'm passing it, like it will be printing as object because or something like suppose if I use the JSON file, it will be printing with the in the proper format. If you see like what are the JSON like we are passing it, same JSON like it's got printed. Same JSON, it's got printed it. That is the internal inbuilt pipe to print our existing parameters, something like right now this is the empty JSON, like it doesn't contain anything. And the same here also. This is the way how our query parameters perform. And suppose now we have seen in the HTML router, I mean like router linked with the router query parameters, but whenever you are clicking on something, you want to pass in the TypeScript. For that, like what we need to do it with the existing router parameters or something like I'm going to pass on something like same way with the query params as a JSON. The same value something like whichever I have passed it over there. I'm just like passed with that. Like it's auto came with the semicolon and query parameter or something like what are the things like it's getting occurred. The same way, in the same way, we have passed it through our like from our TypeScript query parameters directly like we have passed it. So it's been taken. There is a correct syntax on like how we will be passing it, like it will be taking automatically into the route of JSON, something like you should be taking it, something like let me try and see. Oh sorry guys, like here I need to close the router appending URL and like the next is the parameter to just like append our routing thing. That's the wrong way, like it's been conveyed. If you see here, however, we have it with the question mark and showing the values. Question mark in the sense that is a query params. This is the parameters, like one and like it will be keep on adding and symbol to the right side. So it will be having to find multiple routing attributes with the query parameters. Query parameters. To pass dynamic IDs. Next, query params to pass and appending values, appending parameters as like API. However, like we'll be passing the multiple parameters with the question mark in the API. The same way with the query parameters, like we'll be doing it. Now we need to like we need to consider it something like with the help of like now we have passed the query parameters, and these two things like we are subscribed with the help of the activated root thing, and it's useful to subscribe attribute params and query params. Like it will be useful to subscribe attribute params and query parameters. And activator root is useful for to subscribing our particular attribute params and query parameters. Okay, next. Let me create a. Now let's go for the lazy loading concept. Ng generate module m something test module or something test I have put it. Let me see. Like you see here. I'm passing flag as a routing also. It means it's created with the two things. One is the test module as well as testing routing module, test routing module. Now, for now, let us create one more component over here instead of module component test driven. Just like I'm giving some name, random name to just like generate it. Like now it's been generated and oh, still like it's registering in the but that should be getting ratio in the same modules directory. Sorry guys, suppose if I create inside that folder, that time like it will be auto consider it. So cd space our test because something like the test is created with one more folder. If you do test driven right now, it will be reached on the same module because like it will be trying to find our relative module in the same folder. If it's not exist something like it will be trying to create a new thing. And right now this test driven component I am putting in the routing thing with the test routing module ts and paths over here. Yes, whenever the path is getting empty, it should be taking our component as same test driven thing. So this is the routing concept. Now how our test module something like it will be getting loaded. Let's see how we can pass in the app routing module.ts. Let me put our lazy loading concept over now to just like pass and that thing path as a something like test or something because that is a test module. Let's see with the component, not a component. Like we need to use the concept called load children, and here we can pass something like import, and we need to pass our module path to just like we need to pass the total path of it. And and right now like we can take our test module path and then and we can pass our module name as something like m dot our test module something like we can easily consider it to just like pass it. So why is expecting is something like we see here, it's expecting as a promise but we have not written any promise. we can write as a error function with the help of like this. So it will return the same promise. So let's see how things it will get work right now. This is the thing, like things available, and just like I'm going to put in something like forward slash test. Our test driven comp works over here. If you guys see one magic over here, I have one refresh that one. If I trying to find our test driven component, it's not available. But whenever you will be doing the navigation to the test thing, and we can get over here that component. This is the one magic of it. Help of load children concepts. Load children concept. With the help of load children concepts. This routing it will be happening with the load children concept. So how lazy loading it got worked out. It got worked out. Is everyone clear about the lazy loading or any doubt in that? Like right now for this test driven, we need to have a click event to just like navigate it to there. Just like I'm passing the path or something like test. Like whenever we'll be clicking on that go to test now, like we can test driven. So our test driven thing it got worked. How it's working out, the load children is a concept of to use our loading our just like lazy loaded child roads, like how many is available for you guys. We can easily pass that load children concept with it is expecting a promise. So it will return the same promise over here because like we are having it's a promise import, and that then our model name which model something like it should be getting loaded. And from here to there if you go it, and like as well as we are having a test routing module underneath this module, like if you find the routines, like we are having the only test with the empty thing, and if you want with the nested things we can add it easily in the same way. However, like we have added same thing, like we can pass over here with the path with the different parameters driven thing or something. Like I'm going to like we need to create one more component to just like make driven or something like I have created it. So that make driven component I'm going to put it here, the component as a make driven component. If you put it here over here, that it's got unknown caller. The test driven, we have given as a driven thing. We see here the tag make driven, it was not something like it came in the same thing. If you're not passing any route like after the test, if you're not passing anything, like it will be loading the same thing. If you're passing something, like it will be loading the same thing. Like which are like will be passing it, it got loaded. It's got loaded. This is how our routing things it get worked out. This is how our routing things it's got worked out. This is how Control A, Control KF to format our total document to look and feel it will be good. And suppose if you want any number of routing things, you can easily make it to just like navigate it or just like something like instead of just testing, like if you pass the one also automatically our like whenever we'll be clicking on that button, whenever we'll be clicking on that go test driven automatically or make driven component just got loaded. In the same way, we can have any number of nested routing things to just like prevent our routing things. We can easily pass any number of something like nested modules like you can create it and you can easily use the thing. You can easily use the thing. Like however, like we are in a test modules, like that in the same way, inside the modules folder, we can create shared modules, feature modules and all. The shared thing in the sense, suppose if you're creating any common components or something with the help of like dynamically, it will be useful just like whenever it's getting needed and just like trying to use it, you can easily pass and try to use the thing. Suppose whenever like we are passing something, we can easily register like what routine we are there, and we can easily have our registry with that particular URL to navigate the URL as well as which component you want to getting loaded dynamically. That now things like we can pass it over there. And next we can consider as a we are having our guard services. That thing we can continue in the next class. If you guys have any doubt, you guys can like trigger right now. If any, like doubts, you guys can ask right now. And also after practicing tomorrow, you guys can also ask in the next class as well. But don't sit on idle because something like you guys need to practice it or something like you guys easily forget the concept something like whichever you guys are learning it. And so if you guys are trying to use, like whenever you are implementing something, that then suppose if you are using it, you guys will remember like continuously. Other something like it will be waste of my time and your guys' times also. And after finishing that rotor guard services, again just like she our dynamic with the guards and reactive forms and RJS concepts, we can wind up total on the classes. Is it fine?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. We'll meet you tomorrow. Have a great day.